Fear of nothing. That's at the core of the existential terror that follows when we contemplate our self-worth on a spiritual level. That's where faith in God who has gifted our beings alone with souls came from. As human beings, we are able to rationalize and express our suffering and pain, sometimes through artistic ends, other times through more malicious means. In this chaos we create for ourselves, there's often an inclination to search for meanings where there may actually be none. Our experiences seem to be nothing more than a string of erratic moments brought together through probability and the linearity of time. Yet, through this chaos, we still search for meaning to escape that fear of nothingness and that fear of pain, either physical or emotional. While neurophilosopher Patricia Churchland makes the case that it's the science of anesthetics that provides proof for a neurotheory of pain, and disproves the soul theory, it does not deter people from faith, but simply presents itself as an obstacle to ignore until confronted by fact, by which they will then flounder for an answer faith cannot provide. Should there be fear in the idea of a non-existent soul? Does it nullify the inherent beauty of life? Does it rid us of our pesky desire for meaning? No to all three of these questions, but it does bring up the idea that Professor David Lane puts forth in his short film, The Remainder Conjecture. Lane suggests that rather than demanding one's and yielding faith to dogmatic principles without question, there is an allowance to prod and challenge through varying experimentation before falling back on faith. From this perspective, what exactly is faith? Faith, as it's currently defined in relation to religion, is nothing more than a belief that gives light to a truth about the meaning of our existence, as there is yet to be a defined version of the truth. The adherence to dogmatic principles without proof is what faith epitomizes, and it is this pretentious nature of faith that keeps the beauty of our existence from being realized, largely due to that beauty being steeped in flesh and blood. That beauty of existence comes from us. It comes from our lives, from our meanings, and from our consciousness, as it is our consciousness that allows us to perceive our lives and meanings relative to our emotions, regardless of whether you believe in a soul or not. That's where the irony of a physical consciousness comes into light, as it's often emotional pain from experiences that brings us in the depths of our psyche and leads people to find strength in religion. Our minds create opposition to itself through those who believe it's the soul that makes us ourselves, rather than the complexity of the human brain. However, as the question was so aptly posed in our Intro to Philosophy class, if someone were to take a hammer and crack the side of your skull with it, would you still be you? Though you'd still inhabit the same body, the level of consciousness you'd operate at would be at a severe detriment when compared to that of someone who wasn't knocked over the head with a hammer. So, with my inclination towards the physical, I mean to express the idea of a physical consciousness does not act as a detriment to the ideals of religion, but asks for justification by the way of the remainder conjecture, lest we not even reach the end of the cul-de-sac. Rather than sticking to faith blindly with the hopes of escaping the clutches of hell, believe in something that gives your life meaning, and allow yourself to doubt and challenge it. Rather than sticking to the grandiose question of what is the meaning of life, we should start to ask, what gives your life meaning?